Welcome to stage 18. For this we've got to make 3 new parts, and the first one is pretty simple. It's just a friction pin that's got an axle that's 2 blocks long on one side of it. First I'm going to open one of our existing friction pins. I'm going to spin around and have a look, and there's one underneath here, so I'm going to click on that and press open part. Then let's save this part as a copy. So go to File, Save As, choose Save as Copy and Open. And I'm going to call it friction pin with long axle. We can then close the original document, and now let's make some changes to this new part. Firstly, I'm going to drag up to that middle ring, the first feature. We actually only want this to be half the thickness it is now, and we only want it to go in one direction instead of mid-plane. So let's edit that feature. Let's change it from 1.6 down to 0.8, and let's change it from mid-plane to blind. Then you can exit that feature, and we can go down below the next one, the outer body. This one also needs to be half the thickness and also just going in one direction. So let's edit the feature. For the value here, we can divide this by 2. So just click in the box, and after the number, just put /2 and then press enter. That will divide that number by 2. So that should be 7.35. We can then make this blind instead of mid-plane. For the outer rim, let's keep that the same. Then for the mirror feature, we no longer need that because we've just got the rim on one side, so we can delete that. The middle slot, we don't need that either, so you can also delete that, and you can delete the sketch underneath it. And then for the side slot, we can keep that as it is. So we've got the pin half of the part. Now we need to add the axle to the other side. To do this, let's start a sketch on this face, and we'll draw our usual axle shape. So get the circle tool, draw a circle at the origin that's 4.8, and then draw our 2 center rectangles. Hopefully not too bored of this profile yet. They should be 1.8 wide, and then the length of them is set by adding those tangent relations to link them to that 4.8 circle. Then when you've got that profile, we can extrude it as normal. So let's go to Features, Extrude Emboss Base, and in the selected contours, let's choose those 5 areas of the cross. You might also need to click on these outer areas as well, just because of the way the sketch is made. So we should have something like this. Now the total length of this part is 23.8, but that includes the area of the pin that we've already made on the left. We don't actually have to calculate the length that we need to extrude this side. Instead, we can just use offset from surface. To do this, go to the end condition dropdown and choose offset from surface. Then in the surface box, let's choose this end face here. Then for the offset distance, we can write in 23.8 millimeters. And then you might need to flip the direction of the extrude by clicking this reverse direction box here. And you should see a preview something like this. Now, if you can't see this, you might need to press this reverse offset box here. If you can't see a preview, try unchecking that reverse offset box. So this means that our extrude is going a length of 23.8 millimeters from that face that we chose on the left-hand edge of the pin. Let's press OK to make that. And as a double check, you can go to the Evaluate tab, you can get the measure tool, and the entire length here should be 23.8 millimeters. Then let's just call this feature axle. Next, we can add those little fillets to the end of the axle. So get the fillet tool, set 0.5 in size, and just select those 4 outer edges like we usually do for the axle parts. And then finally, we've got a little gap here that we shouldn't have, so we're going to fill that in. So just start a sketch on this face here. Let's choose that outer rim and press Convert Entities. And then let's just extrude that circular area 0.8 outwards in this direction. Just to fully fill in that base there, and let's call that axle base. So there we have a friction pin on one side and a double axle on the other side, and we can save that part. In the next video, we'll make the tail rotor.